Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody, straight out of Lavender Lane in Canada, it is my buddy, Miss Christine Gosse. Christine, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Casey.
So now we're in, I think it might be the same room that we were in last week because we did a clearing. We cleared out. Tell me what we did last week in the professionals.
Yes. So this is the other half of my treatment room. So in the other half, you saw my treatment table, and that's where I did the clearing. And we did a big energy clear. The energy's been very intense lately, so we all needed just a good whoosha, clear out all your energy so that we can start bringing in new manifestation, new things, new beginnings, because now we're into the sign of Virgo, which is all about the earthly plane and bringing everything that we're dreaming of into being in the material world. And we just had a new moon on Friday, which is all about new beginnings. So it's like it's like time to plant seeds and time to really start moving things forward in our lives.
Okay, I know today we're going to talk a lot about manifestation, but going back here, this is a sticking point that I always have. When you say it's Virgo season,
yes,
Virgo, if you're a Virgo, does it only pertain to you, or does it pertain to everyone, even if you're not a Virgo? And by the way, when is Virgo?
Okay, so Virgo is from about August 23rd to September 22nd. The dates vary a little bit.
And what about Virgos? Just if you could just tell us a little bit about them.
So Virgo it's an earth sign. The energy is a little bit more feminine, but very much kind of like Lady Justice, and they tend to be very perfectionistic people. So any of us might have a planet or two in Virgo. We really need to look at our birth astrological charts to know how it's going to affect us. But in general, it's an earth sign. It's all about bringing things in that is going to make your life better and help move humanity forward. So the feminine principle is about receiving, about bringing in, and then we use that to put out in a more masculine way what we put out into the world. So the two have to work together.
Okay. If someone's born a Virgo, is it ramped up for them?
Absolutely.
It is.
Yes, because it's their sun sign, it's their dominant personality traits that come out. And Virgos tend to be very neat and efficient and analytical, but if that goes too far, then they can get into a overly perfectionistic, which can really block all of your manifestations, because it actually boils down to I'm not good enough, which is a really unhealthy mindset to have. So that's one of the things that we want to clear out when we're working on energy clearing and trying to tap into wealth and bring in the abundance that we all deserve.
Right? And how about I hope this isn't silly, but do animals get affected by stuff like this too, like by the signs and all of that?
They are far more sensitive than we are to energy and energetic frequency changes. Like I can often tell by my animal whether I should be trusting a person or not, right? Like somebody comes,
they know, like sometimes they won't even go near a person.
Exactly. So if for example, if a repair guy comes into the house and they are like, take one look and head for the hills, I'm like, okay, I just need to watch my boundaries and be extra vigilant and make sure nothing disappears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard horses are really good at that too.
Oh, horses are amazing. Yeah, they're really natural healers. And they're like, I have a medium friend who actually does animal communication, and they go out to a horse farm and practice. Like, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, horse is amazing.
Yes.
But they really do know how they can do like a good first reading on you, knowing if your heart is
It's-
pure and
Exactly.
you're a good
It's a
person.
heart-to-heart connection,
Okay.
and their hearts are huge, right? So they put out their energy, they sense how you're doing actually, and depending on what the reading is, they might even just come in to comfort you. Like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And your
That's
dog and your cat and even our birds do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. So you mentioned it's Virgo season and the new moon, but people should know on the programming note that you got a special guest coming in next week, and we need to do some preparation for it. Something, tell us about it.
Absolutely. So next week, I'm going to bring Nancy Bruce to the show, and she's our emotional freedom technique practitioner, and she has an amazing tapping into wealth program, which I used about 4 years ago, and it launched, it totally changed the direction of the business forward and helped me move forward. It helped me in my personal finances. Like, it's life-changing, and it's not the things that you would think. It's not actually related. The blocks are not meant to bringing in wealth and manifesting abundance of whatever you're looking for. It might not be money, right? It might be perfect health that you're looking for, that loving relationship, really bringing everything that we want in our lives. But then the subconscious is saying, you don't deserve that, or you can't be seen, or, there might be an agenda that our ego has, or old conditioning from our parents, grandparents that's been passed down, that are blocking things. So Nancy's going to come in next week to show us how to, you love tapping. So we're going to do some tapping and, pick an unconscious block, and we're going to clear it.
Okay. All
and
right.
that should help everyone bring in what they're looking for in an easier way.
All right. So that will be next week with Nancy. Now,
Yes.
tell us more what we should know about this new moon.
Okay. So the new moon, so full moon is all about releasing all that doesn't serve you. You're making room, essentially. And that's really important for manifestation, because at 2 weeks later on the new moon, then it's the best time to have a chat with the universe and say, hey, this is what I want. This is the time to do your dream board. This is like what I'm dreaming of. And like, go to the nth degree. Don't think small. Our brains are too small. So, and always say this or something better, whatever's for the greatest and highest good of all. So right now we're in that new moon energy. We want to be thinking about new projects and, new ways to do things. But making sure, and that's why I did the clearing last week, to try to clear ourselves out of old energy so that we have room to bring in the new. How did you feel after last week's clearing?
I think I might have slept a little bit better.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. I got a great energy boost afterwards. It was wonderful.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes.
Well, when you say you got an energy boost and you're the one that's doing it for someone else, how does that work? How do you feel?
It's a what it's a 2-for-1 deal. It's wonderful because I'm bringing Reiki energy in, and then it goes out through my hands. I get the treatment too.
Oh.
So so that beautiful healing light does what it needs to do with my energy body, and then it's also sent out to the client, and it helps to clear everything that they're serving, like what's not serving them, so that all that stuff gets flushed out.
And is there a problem when you do it, like with 4 or 5 clients a day, or is that when you have to go out afterwards and ground yourself and walk around and get in
I'm usually feeling high as a kite by the end of the day if I do that many clients.
Oh, wow.
It's really is a natural high for me. Like I get an endorphin release and I feel terrific. I'm energized, and that's why I feel energy work is so important. And it's so important to take care of our energy so that we aren't depleted.
How do we
Because
take
many
care
of
of
our
our energy?
interactions deplete us, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, how do we take care of it? I mean, what are some things that we should be looking for to keep it where it should be?
So be grateful, always be looking for something positive. If something happens that you're not very happy with, then try to look at it as take a step back and say, okay, what am I supposed to learn from this? Because clearly the universe is saying this is not the direction, it's trying to redirect you to something different, right? So, and some of these things can be really big. It can be a job loss. It can be, like I remember when I was a kid, where my dad was working, it went out of business. Like it was in the 80s in the whole financial crisis part, right? So that had a huge impact on my personal wealth blockers. Everything that happened when I was a child to my parents that I would observe. But we want to stay grounded. We want to shield ourselves in white light, in purple light, whatever, Archangel Michael's energy, God, Jesus, whatever works for you. And stay connected to our intuition, stay connected to our guides and angels so that it's quite fun because once you release your control, then you can fly. And that's kind of what happened with Lavender Lane is I just put my hands in theirs and we took the leap. Like I wasn't fully prepared for this, but I knew because we were trying to serve the highest good, that it would all work out in the long run. Gotcha. So sometimes the path is very up and down,
right?
But that's how we learn our lessons, and that's how we get taught, right? And move forward.
Okay. All right. Can you tell us a little more about manifestation and why it's important right now?
Yes. So the energy is ripe for it right now because we're in an earth sign, and I always feel like September is like for us, it's the beginning of school, and it's like a really fresh start, new beginnings.
Yeah. The weather's changing, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm not ready for fall yet. I'm still stuck with I want summer to stay for a while. It's my favorite. So, but we do need to start thinking ahead and thinking towards, fall and winter and spring and how are we going to structure our lives? What kind of goals are we looking for? Right. So we really want to look out and start to identify what some of our unconscious blockers could be. So it can be financial traumas that's happened to your parents or grandparents, or yourself, right? Like when the stock market crashes and unpredictable things happen, or something breaks at home or at the business, and it's like, okay. Right. So trying not to overreact and trust in God and universe that things are going to work out for the best. And somewhere along the lines, we often get taught that we have to be perfect. And those vows of perfection are really harmful because, as you know, we're all human, and that doesn't
they're unattainable.
Exist. So perfection really doesn't exist. It's an illusion, and it's a way that our ego can then make us stop progressing and make us procrastinate and or feel fear about taking that big step or taking that big risk.
I see.
Which can be the best thing. If you do it, it can be the best thing that ever happens to you, right?
Yeah. So is that what the new moon is kind of about? It's to try these new things, to take the jump, the plunge, as they say?
Exactly. So think big, and not only think big, but feel it in your heart. And how does it make you feel? When you start to really tap into those feelings on how it makes you feel, like, oh my goodness, look at all the freedom and fun we could have, all the people we could help, then that joy tells the universe that that's what you want.
Hmm.
So if you're going, I want money, I want money, I want money, I want to win at my horses, whatever it may be.
Mhm.
But your subconscious is saying, I don't deserve it. Right? Or some kind of negative thing, right? Or like, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, all that crud that needs to go. That's what we really all need to be working on, is getting rid of those horrible beliefs that are stuck in our brain.
Okay. And so as much as the new moon is about bringing in opportunity and new things, it's also about getting rid of, I think you put it as the things that no longer serve us.
That's right. So it can be limiting beliefs. It can be stuff that well, my parents said terrible things about money. It's the root of all evil and whatnot. And I'm like,
Right.
that doesn't even make sense, because money is energy, right? It doesn't have a personality of its own. It has to do with the intention of what the person using it, right, is going to do with it, right? So if it's greed, then yes, that is not good in the long run, karmically. So, but if you're going to use your abundance and help others, share the wealth, make life better for as many people as you can, then that should be supported by the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we want to go with it. Okay. So, and these full moon and new moons happen every month. So it's important to get into that flow. It's easier to flow with the energy and work with it rather than try to fight it upstream, right? So
yeah. All right, makes sense. Hey, Mr. Producer, can you give me a from the audience? Can you give me a question, because I can't see that far? So, Mr. Producer is going to go to the instant feedback here. Here is Mr.
Awesome.
Producer.
Sam in Seattle says, "What signs typically work well with Virgo?"
Okay, so all the earth signs. So that's,
You said it was an earth sign, this Virgo,
yes,
right?
it is. So Taurus. Oh, you're testing me now. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are earth signs.
Okay.
And so they tend to work the best together in terms of manifestation, but we all have these aspects in our birth charts.
So everyone's got a little bit of it, but some just might have.
Someone's going to be stronger than others.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good question, my friend. All right. Ms. Producer, let's do one more. All right. I think we can get in one more.
Andrew in New York City says, "Is the new moon a good time to manifest a new career path?"
Oh,
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So think about what you would love to do. What would bring you joy? And if you ask Archangel Michael to help you with that, he is not only our protector, he is the archangel of life purpose. And he will show you one step at a time what to do.
And what are some things to not take on during a new moon?
Negativity.
What are some do's and don'ts? You say don'ts.
Okay, so you want to avoid anything that's low vibration, that is bringing you down. And sometimes that means trimming toxic people out of your life, unfortunately. Or adjusting how much of your energy you give them, how much time. We really need to protect our energy.
Protect your energy.
Keep it as high vibration as possible. Be as grateful. And I kind of look at it like I have a quite an active inner child, and my inner child looks at it like it's Christmas morning, and what are you going to bring me? Like looking at it as, I love surprises, and the universe never fails to surprise. That's for sure. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like, what? And you want me to do what? Okay, do a little sidestep, learn a whole bunch, and then come back, and you're even stronger as you move forward.
Okay, so say we're new and we're beginners to this form of energy, like this new moon and Virgo season. What are some things that we kind of test the waters with? Like, should we put an intention out there? Should we do something for someone else? What are some things to do when you're just learning things like this?
Be kind. So be kind to yourself. And that goes with all the mental chatter that's going on in your head. Be kind for others, because what you put out will come back to you triple. That's the karmic law. So you want to make sure it's positive and it's good, and trying to be helpful, for others. Gratitude is the easiest way to raise your vibration. Being grateful for every little tiny thing, like watching a bee on a flower, for example, or a butterfly. The sunrise this morning was glorious. Like little things that, bring you joy, that connect you to all that is. The more connected we are, the better your life is going to flow. If we reject that, then it's going to be a pretty rocky ride.
Okay, cool. We only got a couple minutes left, but let's go to audience one more time.
We have Brittany in Austin says, should we establish new boundaries with people during a new moon?
Oh, good one, Brittany.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's not being aggressive about it, but being assertive, like that's not, like that behavior or that way you're talking to me is not acceptable. And it has to change in this way, which I do find acceptable. Otherwise we can't play, right? Like you can't constantly give your energy out to people who aren't reciprocating, who are just take. You'll end up depleting yourself, and then you won't be able to manifest what you need. And actually, you'll end up with health problems. So we have to be really careful with what we do.
Okay. All right. Good one. Thanks, Brittany. And just as we're wrapping up here, just my last question is, how, and if so, should crystals be playing a part in the Virgo season and the new moon?
Yes. So if we're trying to bring in money, citrine is one of the favorites because it repels negativity. It brings wealth in. Any green stone, green aventurine is one of my favorite for that. Jade is another one. Beautiful stone. Smoky quartz. Those are the main ones. And and hematite.
Okay.
No,
Cool.
sorry. Excuse me. Pyrite. Sorry.
Pyrite.
Hematite.
All right. Okay.
And that's fool's gold.
I see.
So all those things help you to manifest wealth.
Take advantage of this time.
Yes.
All right, guys, the one and only Christine Gosse. Christine, let me give you the last word. Anything you want to leave us with? That was interesting stuff. And next week, you got a great treat with Nancy Bruce.
Yes.
And let me just give you the last word here. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for everyone who wrote in. Sorry I didn't get to everybody, but
thank you so much.
You have the floor, Miss Christine.
Thanks. Go to lavenderlaneptw.ca, and we can work on clearing your energy, getting you started, giving you all the basics to really up level your life. We can do a chakra balancing, we can do a Reiki, we can do it by distance through a video call. All of our holistic practitioners are available online, and it's just so easy and it's fun. So healing doesn't always have to be hard work. It's fun as well.
Great. Awesome. Guys, that is the one and only Christine Gosse, and we will be right back. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Casey.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.